Support for WXAV 88.3 FM and WXAV.com is being provided by Bookies, new and used books. Bookies is an independent bookstore located at 10324 Southwestern Avenue in Chicago. They have a collection of new and used books and accept book trade-ins and donations. More information is available at bookieschicago.com and on Instagram at bookieschicago.
This is a WXAV 773 Sounds podcast, introducing you to the best local bands in the Chicagoland area.
And that was Dance Yourself Clean by the one and only LCD sound system here on the WXAV 88.3 FM Chicago, your escape from ordinary radio. My name is Peter Kreten, and to say I am excited is a understatement because we have a very special edition of 773 Sounds right here, right now for you on this Friday afternoon. We have a local band in studio with us that we have been featuring for the last couple months that we've been getting really great feedback from. If you like LCD Sound System, if you like Rich Jones, who we have featured on the program, that great combination of hip hop, electronica, EDM, with just a killer beat, you know who I'm talking about. It's Abolishvictory. We have Abolishvictory in studio with us here right now. We have to the left of me on guest mic number 1. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you.
Can you say your name for
Nicholas.
us? Nicholas,
Yes, Nicholas
thank you.
McMillan.
And on guest mic 2, we have
Hello, it's Marcus Darling.
Nicholas. Marcus, welcome to WXAV. How are you guys doing today?
We're feeling good. We're excited to be here. Really appreciate you putting us on and playing our music. And this is our first time going live on the radio together.
Oh, wow. Like
So,
ever?
As Abolishvictory.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored that you guys are doing it here with us here at WXAV.
Thank you.
So just we want to kind of get to know a little bit more about the history of the band and that. Can you kind of share how Abolishvictory kind of came together?
You should go ahead, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it came together in like 2021. I met Marcus through a friend, and we basically, I had a batch of songs that I had just been sitting with for 5, 6, 7 years, some of the songs.
Oh,
that
wow.
I just couldn't figure out what to do with them. And I had been trying to put up bands, had been tried a lot of methods, but it's just like it never quite came out right. It was always traditional instrumentation. And I met Marcus, another friend of mine had mentioned to me, like, you need a producer. And I met Marcus, and we were already fast friends and just had immediate creative kind of spark. And then we played a show together. Marcus covered one of my songs actually that
that's
I
awesome.
already had out. And that was like the kindest, sweetest, and most nicest
Y'all need
thing.
to check out Song for Alyssa.
Yeah,
Fire.
that was the song, A Song for Alyssa.
Oh, nice.
It is actually not on Spotify right now due to the changeover. We kind of had some mess ups, but it's on Bandcamp. It's an old song that I put out and under the name Nicholas.
Okay.
And so we were operating under the name Nicholas for a couple years. Marcus helped me produce this record called Heat Island Effect that you can now find under the name Abolishvictory. We basically operated as Nicholas for a couple years, and then last year, after we played Shubas, we kind of had a little bit of a rise and fall as that band, but it was another like kind of traditional instrumentation, too many people, hard to manage. It all just felt like too much. We played at Shubas and it was great, but I was like, wow, there's like 13 people on the stage.
Oh, wow.
I can't like scale this,
Yeah.
We're trying to accomplish so many sounds. And so, yeah, then Marcus and I kind of went back to the drawing board and we're like, how do we scale this down so it can fit in my SUV? And that process eventually became such a collaborative process with Nabil, shout out Nabil, aka Bulbul, the agitator. He plays guitar on Television. Steven is also on Television, our roommate and collaborator, and Luke also, another great bass player and just artist in Chicago. And that kind of, at some point, we're like, you know what, this should be. While we were walking into shows and people were like, who's Nicholas? What is this? We're a band. It all got a little bit convoluted and weird. So my Instagram handle was already Abolishvictory. And it was actually Nabil who kind of was like, hey, we should just start calling ourselves Abolishvictory and just kind of change the name, which ended up being a little bit of a headache on the back end of switching everything on the internet and Spotify and all this stuff. But in terms of our kind of sound and our fans, so to speak, which is really just was my personal Instagram that already had the name of the band, so that we became. So it kind of was a natural switch. So that's kind of the long story, but ultimately it's a creative collaboration between Marcus and I that was just really just potent, and we're just like, we gotta do something with this.
Yeah, I mean, and it sounds phenomenal. We've been playing a ton of tracks off of Televism, and that's your latest record that just came out. It was late last year, correct? Or was it earlier this year?
February.
Year.
Yeah, January
this year. Yeah,
26th. Yeah, we dropped that January 26th.
Mixed and produced by Marcus.
Oh, really?
Also, and Parker, but mostly Marcus.
So that leads me to talk to you, Marcus, with how did you approach then making this album? Because it almost sounds like it was like Nicholas was a cocoon, and then out of that cocoon came Abolishvictory and everything. So kind of share with me your approach with putting this album together then.
Yeah, honestly, it was a lot of out of necessity, like Nicholas was saying. We became such a tight-knit unit. It was 4 of us, and we can cover so much ground, just the 4 of us. So like me being able to like also play bass and synth was able to cover ground. And we had this idea just planned of just having a live rendition of music just to put out, because content is the whole thing right now. And
also with high quality sound.
Yeah, with high quality sound. So we recorded this at Real Sounds in Skokie. We set that up just to be able to do that, and we had our buddy Drew Loeffner create these like visual effects for us, recording us live. And we just went in with our set list. We went in with our set list, and we came out with something that was like, me and Nick talked about it, like this could be an album. Like we should just push this as an album. And the date for the album was supposed to be in February. And then lo and behold, there was a fireplace under us because we got offered an Empty Bottle gig.
Oh, nice.
In January. And we're like, you know what? Honestly, this is like so good and so clean. Like me and Parker like just polished up like little bits and pieces of it and just said like, let's put this out for real.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. It really seems like everything like came together in this really like serendipitous way then for the band. Yeah. So why don't we spin a track from Televism? Nicholas, would you like to introduce what we're going to play for everyone right now?
Yeah. This song is called Anxiety. You'll see it written as NX, which is kind of a play on the RX of like prescriptions and such a prescriptive world that we live in. And so this is kind of us talking about it. It's a music that Marcus actually birthed and kind of brought this melody, and just like so many of our songs, it's like, just moved my heart, and then I brought a melody to it, and we end up writing the song. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. Here's Anxiety by Abolishvictory here on the X 88.3 FM. And we're back here on the X, WXAV 88.3 FM Chicago, your escape from ordinary radio. Just before the break, you heard Rich Jones with Swiss Camo here. Hey. And he's a friend of the band we have in studio right now, Abolishvictory. Now, you guys just did a show with Rich Jones a few weeks ago.
Well, it wasn't quite with Rich, but it was hosted by Rich and Show You Suck, another great artist in Chicago, a mainstay. And they host a monthly review, I guess, called the Dream Blunt Rotation.
Awesome.
You can find some of Chicago's finest on that rotation. And we did it in February, and it was great. We had a great time. We had a trio up there.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then you were mentioning, Nicholas, you guys just got back. You did a mini tour of like Ohio and Indiana. What was that like? How were the crowds?
Crowds were great. It was a short tour. We went to Bowling Green. We went to South Bend. We were with Bussy Queen Power Trip.
Oh, nice.
Which is another fantastic. I mean, they are just a ripping band. One of my favorites in Chicago.
Yeah.
and that's with our buddy Darian C's, Darian Clave Kombucha. He's Meanie Productions. These are all Darian's things. Darren Williams' his name, but he deserves a shout out too for booking so much stuff. He's a booking agent. He's a musician. He's in the band Pussy Queen, and we played with them. We hopped into some kind of punk crowds.
Nice.
And our music can kind of span a lot of places, but they really were super receptive, and we honestly had a great time. Yeah, so really big shout out to Bowling Green, and I can't remember what's the name of the bar we were at in South Bend. McCormick's. Yeah, I think it was McCormick's Coney Island.
Oh, great name.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that really impresses me so much with your sound, because you guys really have like a little bit of everything. You have a little bit of house, you have a little bit of hip hop, you have a little bit of EDM and R&B. You even have like a folk vibe to it as well too. I mean, how do you kind of find a way to kind of balance all those like sonic melodies and everything?
Honestly, it's that's kind of the process you're watching right now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what would be your? I'm curious what your answer is that for Marcus, because
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I have this seed that like lives inside of me that I just can see music at its like smallest and at its biggest, at its largest.
Okay.
We've done it with 13, and I mean we can do it with 2. And like I like to write songs like that like embody that, and like that can happen in the span of so many genres, that you can just use 2 people or just one person, and like the rhythm can like spark and the melody sparks. And so like we have sort of grown up not with each other, but just like influenced by very similar things, being like Midwestern like lads. By the way, my pronouns are he, they. And I feel like just taking in that so much, we are able to reflect it off of each other. And it comes down to like moments where like, we're surrounded by a group of people and like everybody's cheering for the same song, or moments where we dig for that unique like sound, and like it's like that all like gets expressed like in our musical like landscape. And I really like that we can approach it, and it's never so weird to us. It's never just been like,
Right.
whoa, that's not what we do.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been really inspired by like a song, a guitar, and a melody. Marcus is like prolifically practicing and getting better and working on new instruments, production, like building so much of the musical landscape. And together, I'm like, we just love something that can stand alone by itself, where we can just stand there and sing something. We don't need all this extra stuff, but we're also so influenced by the technology and the world around us and the things that are fun. It's fun to like, are playing for each other when we have the MPC out, and that's how it all started. It was really actually, kind of just more in this fun mode where I'm playing around with this piece of technology we have, and it's making sounds. I'm like, oh wait, this is a really cool way to play music live that is also on a metronome. But we don't need to have like in-ears. You don't need to hit play on a computer, but we're all kind of here playing live, and it's electronic music with these electronic drums. And you can check out Party Jacob, some of like those beats off Anxiety, Broke Building, which we're gonna play. You're gonna really hear that, like us in this world that's really influenced by electronic music, by the house tradition. I'm a DJ, so I've been DJing for the last 10, 15 years. And like the history of DJing also is just so much about beat matching and intensity and sounds and these things that are so connected to the technology that they're getting played on. So, I think it's just, we are influenced by so many things. The 21st century is saturated with technology and media and information, and we're taking in so much. So how do we, like, the music is the synthesis of all the genres and the sounds, but for me it's more like, how do we market it, how do we sell it, and or how do we make a career out of something that isn't so necessarily easily put in a box? Because if you listen to Belinda, which we're going to play at the end, and then you listen to Broke Building, which we're about to hear, they're very different, but they're all expressions from the same heart, the same two people here, including Nabil and Manessi Croft and the collaborators that we have played with and connected with for so long. So, yeah, I mean, there's just so many influences in the world. It's hard to not want to kind of tap into all the whimsy, all the things that make us feel good and make us feel creative.
Well, I really like that because, you know, so many bands I feel like nowadays they almost do pigeonhole themselves where it's like, I am just a singer-songwriter. I am just an MC. And what I really like about Abolishvictory is it is that little bit of everything. You do get all the different beats and the melodies and, you know, the guitar work and things like that. But I'm kind of curious, like when you guys are looking to write a song, are you starting with like beats? Are you starting with lyrics? Are you starting with like an interesting sound you heard, you know, from a computer? Like where does your seed of inspiration kind of come from when you're going to like go and say, you know, I'm going to write this track?
It's so interesting. 'Cause I see myself carrying two hats as a musician and a producer. And you know, when me and Nick get around each other, we're like lightning in a bottle. We can like really just like fire off of each other's energy, no matter what the instrument is. If Nick's on keys, guitar, MPC. I've never seen anyone play the MPC like Nick plays the MPC, by the way. I'm just like, that already is just like, oh, this is so fun. Like, let's continue to explore that. So yeah, it's really just about capturing those moments, like lightning in a bottle. And we can always like post-actualize. We're like, I got a trigger finger for recording. Like we're recording constantly. And like we create worlds together. We ideate together a lot. And yeah, so it's like nice to be able to like revisit a lot of our sounds that we spark just off like exploring where this keyboard sounds like today, or exploring how like he found a new way to make a 4/4 time sound like 5. And I'm like, this dude is tapping into some interesting stuff. And like Nabil is so clever when he comes to like his guitar playing and being able to balance that and just like, you know, follow the spirit that enters the room. It really is just like making room for that and just like, oh, here we go. If we feel it, this is about to start something.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's music should be something that's based in emotion and in feeling and everything. And it seems like you guys are really like tapping into that. Now, you did mention that you guys are already working on a follow-up to Televisum. What's kind of inspiring you at the moment right now with your writing?
Honestly, it's layering. We have been such a live band. We usually perform. We've performed the most live, and we have a few songs that are recorded. And so this is sort of like going to be like a studio recorded album.
Okay.
And just approaching this, we've been in each other's life, 3+ years now. We've probably have like cataloged 30+ songs.
Wow.
And yeah, we've just like now have taken it into this like mechanism of just how do we get this to sound enjoyable and still recognizable to what we do live, and balance out. Like we're doing another version of Anxiety. That's a recorded version.
Very nice.
Yeah. Which is just going to be like a treat to the ear. And we got to work with So Honey Records on recording some of this stuff, and like having this stuff engineered for us and like being able to like sit and listen and explore is like both feeding into our live playing, and also like the live playing is feeding into how we approach the recording.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say that, like, yeah, I mean, we're so influenced by the sounds in front of us. Like, what are these sounds making, and how are they? For me, there's a lot of just immediate responsive activity with writing. And when something feels soft and tender, you know, it like brings me to that kind of place. But, you know, I think we're very influenced, again, by the world around us, the constant screens, the constant influence of the telephone and technology and AI and all these like worlds that for me feel very imposing, you know, because I'm a person that really appreciates sitting at the table and, you know, just hanging out.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like there is something that feels so isolating and so drawing away when we're constantly, I feel like, getting preyed upon, our attention and our imagination. So, that's a huge thing that I'm always talking about in all of my writing, is really my relationship to what feels like kind of surviving in the modern day, with adjusting and constantly having to readjust to the new fast-paced thing that I don't think is necessarily, maybe our biology hasn't quite caught up to our brains and what we're processing. And, I don't know, there's a lot of thoughts in there, but ultimately it's like kind of existential things that, I always like to say and hope that our music, just like for us, it's a balm, and it's something that makes us feel like we can take on the world when we have to wake up the next day and do it again, and, not have our dreams, so it's like we're working people, we're working so hard to try and just, have some peace of mind and have some life that we can really appreciate. And it gets harder and harder. So our music definitely is kind of a cry out into that void of trying to reach out to connect with people and, have a relationship that's isn't just through a screen.
Yeah.
Even though that is the medium that we have to so often reach people. So if you are hearing this out in the world and you're just on the radio, or you're just a random person who's hearing it, I'm like, there's something beautiful about radio that is live and happening.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's that community.
We're here with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that community. It's you can't see the listener, but they're there with you, and you're a part of this conversation in real time together. It's so funny you mentioned that, because I was just talking to a student. They had to interview me for a project, and he was yearning for that. He goes, I'm in my 20s, and I don't know what it's like to have like a community around something, because it's all based on the phone. And I see a lot of people that are feeling lost because of that. It's really, we create this massive technology, but yet we don't set the rules in place when we release it. It's just like, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as we go along, but it can do some damage and everything.
We're definitely the guinny pigs.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah. We have a song called Lost, by the way. So, go find it. Actually, it's on television. You can check that out on the record. And
you can check the Abolishvictory. They're at Bandcamp. Abolishvictory.bandcamp.com. I think we should play some music, though, guys. Please. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is Broke Building here on the X88.3 FM. Broke Building by Abolishvictory here on the X88.3 FM Chicago. On this very...
That was a ripper.
It was a ripper. It was fantastic. And we have Abolishvictory in studio right now for this special 773 Sounds interview. We have Marcus. How are you, Marcus?
Great. Thanks for having us.
And we have Nicholas. Guys, this has been so terrific and everything, getting to meet you guys and talk and everything. If people want to find you guys online, as we're talking about screens, where can they find you and give you guys a follow?
Abolishvictory.com or just Abolishvictory anywhere. All one word, ABOLISHVICTORY. Abolish Victory.
Go check them out. They're on Instagram. They're on Bandcamp. Anywhere you type it into the Google machine,
truly,
it's going to pop up, and give them a follow.
All one word.
All one word. And you guys were mentioning, too, your live show. Do you guys have any shows coming up here in the Chicagoland area?
We do.
Okay.
April 30th, which is this coming Thursday. It's at a place called Hidden Commons, and I'm going to pass it over to Marcus to describe it. But I just want to give Marcus his flowers, because Marcus is an amazing artist, a visual artist. Marcus makes all our merch. Marcus did the design for television. There's also a QR code. In the record, there's a live visual representation of the whole record.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's on YouTube. It's a little harder to find because we were trying to have it so when you buy a CD, you get access to it. So come buy a CD if you like us on this show. But Marcus is getting featured. Images that he created with a photographer are getting put up for the month in this art space. So they're getting featured as an artist, and also we're playing a show as Abolishvictory with Manesi Croft. There's a whole group of us presenting our sound, which is R&Beyond, and Marcus will tell you about the show.
Amazing.
On Thursday.
Yeah, this show is hosted by the Practice Club. They have a subset called Hidden Commons, where they try to have 3 main reasons why people should gather in person. It being one being art, one being music, and one being wellness. They're a wellness collective working out of a co-working space right on Lake in Aberdeen.
Okay.
Through a couple of relationships, I was chosen to be the visual artist there and the musical artist. And I am presenting this photographic narrative that I did with the photographer Erica Gray on film that is marking the 250-year anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And it just is a critique on the fabric between religion and state, and, you know, how it feels to be a citizen in that. And it ties in to this overarching theme that touches on, like, our music, which is tender, and touches on, like, the directions we can take our music, which is a flame, which is also tender, which is very short, like related to it. And this night is just about being able to carry both. The light that makes you want to, like, start things over, a fire, and also just the softness in a lot of the rubble, as we're becoming more and more aware of, like, what's happening around us. And to, you know, go with that is a display of R&Beyond, which is our sound, which is the sound that we do with Manesi, and we're presenting that to Chicago. This is a free show. If you follow us at Abolishvictory, you'll see the link, RSVP. We're trying to make it as comfortable as possible while telling this narrative and telling this story and entertaining. It's very immersive. There's going to be food. There's going to be...
That we're going to make.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which is
Manesi and Nabil and I are
sick.
going to make gumbo and cornbread and have a little...
Sounds amazing.
Little food, so definitely come by and check that. I also just had a thought when you were talking there. You said the light of, like, a fire, right? Yeah. And I thought, while lightness is also, like, softness, weight, you know, when something feels light. And so it's like, that's another light and light kind of, you know, double entendre, the play on words here. But you know, I think that ultimately, it's going to be a great expression of our sound, of our community. And another big shout out to Manesi, Manassesh. Manesi is definitely a person we want to get you in touch with.
Please, yes, absolutely.
And Manesi has a deep roster of songs and beautiful music, and we collaborate together. And this last song that we gave you for us all to listen to is also featuring Manesi. And I really believe it touches on that lightness, that softness, that beauty, that tenderness of that. We try and hold each other, knowing that life is difficult, and we were taught to be a lot harder than we probably need to be. To you know, get through and to make it all out in one piece. Yeah,
this sounds amazing. And this is Thursday, April 30th. Where is it at again?
It's going to be at the Yard, hosted by Hidden Commons. The Yard is 1101 West Lake Street.
Okay, great.
Right under the tracks.
Right under the tracks.
Lake in Aberdeen.
Yeah, so be sure to go and check it out. Abolishvictory on Instagram for more information. Also go to their website, abolishvictory.com. So one final question before we head on out for the day. The Chicago local music scene is really having kind of like a moment right now. And for 2 musicians that are a part of it, it's got to be really exciting to see all the amazing art and music that's being created. And as I mentioned before, you know, I have students that are looking for that community. And one of the things that they really want to try and get involved with is more of like that local music scene. But there's a little bit of fear and anxiety because it can be overwhelming. They don't know where to start. They don't know where to begin. So for that student or for that individual who is listening right now that they want to get into like the local music scene, what advice would you give them? Where should they start?
What comes to mind immediately for me is Lemmings.
Okay.
Lemmings on Sundays. Man, I love the spot.
I love this practical. This is very good practical advice.
Yeah. It every Sunday they have an open mic. If you sign up, you get a free beer. If you perform.
Shout out John Kimmler.
Yep.
He hosts the open mic.
Yep. Tried and true. There are so many people cycling in and out of there that are trying out new songs just to prepare for something they have later in the week. And people just like doing things for the first time up there. And it's a welcoming crowd. There's a pool table in the back. That's definitely a great place to start.
Absolutely.
I would say, yeah, I mean, there's a level of self-sacrifice involved in taking a stage or wanting to pursue something that just requires so much failure, really. Like, you have to face a lot of your like shortcomings, and if you want to get better, you have to take critique, you have to be wrong, you have to put out bad stuff, you have to, you have to fall on your face. So like an open mic is a great suggestion, going to shows of bands you like and just go talk to people. You'd always be surprised at how much people get ahead just by being bold and audacious and actually asking that question. So, there's a level of audacity of being like, I'm just going to believe in this and know that I'm going to come out the other side okay. And, again, I've been doing this for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I'm super proud of Abolishvictory, and I'm super proud of what we're doing right now. But, I've seen, I feel like I've seen a rise and a fall of a music scene multiple times already in Chicago since 2013, and 2012, 2011, when I was first jumping and doing stuff, So there's going to be a lot of failure, and there's going to be a lot of growth, and that's the beauty of the artist's journey. And so, I'm glad I didn't make it in a way that maybe I could have 15 years ago, because my music would have been a lot worse, and I would have been a lot worse as a person, I think. But ultimately, I think my advice would be, it's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. Yeah. It's a marathon, right? It's like we're in it for the long haul. So just start kind of whatever's in front of you. Mm-hmm. It's like, go to the thing that scares you the most. Try the thing, So I don't know. Maybe that was more vague than Marcus's answer, but
no, it's both great. They're both great pieces of advice and everything. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Marcus. Again, Abolishvictory. Be sure to check them out. Abolishvictory.com. They're at Bandcamp at abolishvictory.bandcamp.com. You can find them on Instagram, Spotify, anywhere on the web. Go check them out. Thank you so much for coming down today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
And we're going to end it with a track that you guys did, Belinda, here on the X83 FM.
Thank you for listening to this WXAV 773 Sounds podcast. For more information on 773 Sounds, please visit our website, WXAV.com.
Support for WXAV 88.3 FM and WXAV.com is provided by Northwest Community Credit Union. Northwest Community Credit Union is located on campus inside the Graham School of Management and offers financial services for the St. Xavier community. Services include student credit cards, student loans, and other financial resources. More information is available at nwccu.com.